ideas that people had at one time or another, and then they converted them into something on the web. So you're going to need a website. Basically, to be relevant in today's world, you need a website. Even if it's just a basic informational website that doesn't really do much other than give people an address or a phone number or a little bit about what you do. The generations that are using the web now, they pretty much go to Google to look for anything. I know, like, my dad, he still says, like, pull out the yellow pages, 74, so, you know, that's just ingrained in his mind. But I know for me personally, like, if I want to find something, whatever it is, if I want to see if a business is legitimate, I'm going to go right to the web. So if you don't appear on the web, it's almost like already a notch against you, because people are looking for credibility, they're looking that you have a presence on the web, that you're up to date with technology. So you'll want a website. That being said, you don't want to have a website if it's going to be horrible, because for a lot of people, they don't have a brick and mortar store, and so this is your store. This is your storefront, and if it looks terrible, it's going to directly reflect on your business or organization. So make sure that when you do have a website, that it's a good one. So there's 4 basic goals to the presentation that I want to go through. The first step in building a website for your business is assessing your needs. Then you want to get set up, and there are logistical things involved to getting set up for a website. You're going to want to register your domain. You're going to want to find a web designer, and you're going to want to find a web host. And I'm going to go into all of this stuff. You're also going to want to focus on learning best practices to have the most effective website possible. And finally, once your website goes live, a lot of people think, well, if I build it, they will come. It's not necessarily true. Just because you have a website doesn't mean that it's visible to people using the web. So I have some tips to get you more visible. Okay, so the first goal, assessing your needs. So what does that mean? You're going to want to ask yourself some questions when you're building a website. These are really critical to getting a good foundation so that you're going in the right direction to start your project. And the first question to ask is, who is your audience? There are lots of different audiences out there. Sometimes you need to have a website that's going to appeal to multiple audiences, so you'll want to keep that in mind as well. And that's also really important when designing the structure of your website, because you want the site to be as usable as possible, and if there are 2 completely different audiences that are viewing your site, you're going to want to make sure that they go to the right part of your site and aren't looking around, because people will be off your site in less than 5 seconds if they can't find what they're looking for. They can just go back to Google search results, type something else in, and with a few clicks be on a different site. So who is your audience? That's a really important question to ask. And then what do you want them to do once they go on your site? Do you want them to buy something? Do you want them to read about something? Do you want them to share something? Do you want them to donate to something? Do you want them to sign up for something? Those are all things that you need to ask yourself, because all of those items entail building functionality into your website if it's going to be more than just an informational website.